Hi everybody, I'm Peggy Rometo and this is the Weekly Wake Up. Okay, so we're going to tune in, take a few breaths, let go of everything that we think we already know so that we can receive what's available for us this week. So we start every time by closing our eyes, going into our heart, using our imagination, dropping down into the center of the earth, just imagining white light, and we inhale that white light up through our body, up to the top of our head, hold it for a count of 3, and then exhale the white light back down our body. And as we do, we let go. We let go of all of the impressions in our mind and the thoughts and the physical pain that we might have, or discomfort, or excitement, or anxiety. We want to let it all go. And we do that with the 3 long breaths. And then we open to see what's possible. And as I start to talk, when we get to that point, I want you to be listening and noticing when I'm saying something. Does it make sense to me? Does it not make sense to me? Is it for me? Is it for somebody else I know? And then also see if you get more information on your own. All right, and I hope you're continuing to practice this every day. And of course, I love to hear you guys from you when you listen to the Weekly Wake Up and things resonate with you, or if there's, in addition, something else you might get. So let's go ahead and start. So let's take those 3 breaths in and 3 breaths out. Okay, so right away, they're just showing me that, the energy is starting to move forward. For those of you who follow astrology, we know that Mercury is going direct today on the 19th, and it's usually within 24 to 48 hours that things really start to open up. So there's a lot of movement moving forward. And in fact, what I was seeing was like a gun being fired off and all this confetti. So things are going to happen quickly. And for some of you, it's exciting, and there's a lot of positive things that can bring up anxiety or fear. Even the good stuff, right, can make us a little anxious. Well, I'm starting a new job, or I'm moving to a new city, or, or whatever. I've got a big travel. So there's this excitement in the air with a little bit of mixture of anxiety. Now, for some of you, this gunshot in the air, moving things forward, can also bring tragedy, right? There have been people who've I know who've recently just passed in the last couple of days. There's been people who have sudden loss of relationships. So it can go either way, right? This is what the eclipses do: sudden endings and sudden beginnings. So that thrust forward can be both perceived as positive or negative. So our job this week is to be observant of the energy as it's coming through us, or as it's coming to us, whichever. If you're somebody who's empathic, you might feel it like blowing you around. It reminds me of a garden hose, right? When you turn it on full force, you don't have the end and it's like everywhere. That's how these first few days feel, Monday and Tuesday, a little bit like out of control, a lot of energy, a lot of things happening, and just like, wow. To minimize that sensation, we can use our breath. Just stop, take a few deep breaths. And when we do that, when we're calm, our environment becomes calm. So taking a few deep breaths, letting go, excusing yourself from a frenetic situation for a minute or 2, and then coming back in, clearing your thoughts, taking a drink of water, are all different ways to get our body to be able to interact with that energy a little bit differently so that we can be calmer. And when we're calm, the information will start to flow again, and we'll just automatically know what to do. So just know that the beginning of this week, especially Monday, Tuesday, is a little bit, very frenetic movement. For the most part, it feels positive. But as I said, some of you may be dealing with grief or difficult situations, which doesn't feel good, but it's still moving forward, right? It is still a forward motion. And what there is to do is just to honor where you're at. So if you're somebody who's grieving the loss of loved one, just honor where you're at. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself. Love yourself. Celebrate them. Celebrate their life. Celebrate your relationship. If you've just lost a job, if you've just lost a partner from a breakup, or you've just financially lost something, right? It's just honoring it, acknowledging it, but at the same time, then look and see, wow, this is an entry to something new. You know, even when something's dark, there's still a spark of light there for us to see. And we just have to look for that goodness, right? So it's about, again, we're using that same energy of loving your reality and creating your reality and connecting with it. Okay, so let's see what else is available for us this week. So for some of us, our patience may be tried with people not following through or changing their mind at the last minute, or suddenly, you know, all the confusion from the last couple of weeks because things were in retrograde and the miscommunications. Some of those are going to be dealt with this week. Like, what? I didn't say that. I didn't make you that promise. I didn't tell you I was going to do that for you. I didn't say I was going to pay for that. Right? So some of you may have to deal towards the end of the week these miscommunications about money or about responsibility or how you heard one thing and somebody else said another. So just stay the course with that. Just have your patience with it. All there is to do is to work it out, be present to it, not be alarmed by it. And my sense is if you do that, then you'll be able to work it out. Okay, so what else is in store for us this week? So a lot of the creative things that you've been working on now can start to be nailed down. They can start to, you know, put some things in place that will actually stay. You've got a lot of clarity that's starting to happen, and there's some stability. So you can start to be able to implement some of the ideas that you were thinking about. You can start to move some creative energy forward that maybe phone calls were not happening or business meetings got canceled. You can start to see some of those forward momentum again. And for some of you, you may start to get some phone calls and people wanting your services. So you might feel this uptick in your, for entrepreneurs, you might feel the uptick in opportunities. And even for some of you who work for other people, you may see that there's more of an acknowledgement coming in for you and for what's possible for you. So there is this starting to be this opening that's happening for us to expand into. Okay, so anything else we need to know about this week? Still have to have some patience. There's still maybe some things that are slippery or that haven't quite been worked out. It reminds me of, you know, just when you're trying to do something new. So it could be that maybe you're starting a new job or a new way of being, right? Well, I've made myself a promise that I'm going to start eating better, or I made myself a promise that I won't hide out anymore, and I'm going to start to tell people what I'm thinking or what I'm feeling, or I'm not going to let my partner talk to me that way anymore, and I'm going to put up a boundary, and I'm going to start to say, I'm going to walk out of the room when they raise their voice at me, right? Like these different ways of being. Or I promise that I'm not going to run away and that I'm going to stand there and I'm going to have a conversation, right? So there are these opportunities for us to grow and to heal. And this week, there may be a little bit of slippery energy around us holding that new energy. It's something new, right? We're starting something new. So whatever it is you're starting, just hang in there with it. And you know, if you fall, you get back up, right? If you make a mistake, you apologize. It's just what it is, but you're trying. You're in the game, and that's what's most important. So if you haven't been in the game and you've been sidelined, either because emotionally you feel exhausted or tired or you just don't know what to do, then ask for help. Then make sure you reach out. People will hear you, and they'll take action. And if you don't have anybody in your life for that, call me. That's what I do for people. I remove confusion. I remove the anxiety so you can get clear and you can actually feel like you have the ability to take action. Okay, so let's see if there's anything unexpected for us this week. There may be an opportunity for you to do something you always wanted to do, and it just is like spur of the moment. It just comes up suddenly. For some of you, it could be a trip. You always wanted to go someplace and suddenly it's being presented. For some of you, it could be you always wanted to work with a specific person, or you always wanted to run into that person, or you always wanted to date a specific person. And so there's an opportunity for some unexpected success to come in and unexpected desires to be met. So that's always fun, right? And for some, it can be money. There can be some unexpected money coming in this week. And for some of you, maybe meeting some new people this week that really create new long-term relationships with. and really forge new communication skills and healing's available, as well as money's involved, and also creative forces. So it could be that you meet somebody new that wants to go on business with you this week, or wants to hire you this week, or you find somebody that you want to hire, or that you want to go into business. So there's a lot of collaborative energies coming in, even though it's conversation. I feel like it's just conversation. In another week or so, we have Mars will go direct in about 10 days, and Mars is the planet of action. So some of these things could just starting to become in, that just, kind of tips our hat and goes, oh, okay, pay attention. This may be somebody that in a few months it might work out, right? Or it could be something positive here. So you just want to pay attention to your environment and who's in your environment, and listen at the conversation, and then feel your own way through it. Does this feel good to me? Does this feel right to me? Okay? All right, let's see if there's anything else in store for us this week. You still want to leave yourself plenty of time with so many of these planets still in retrograde, right? You still want to leave yourself plenty of time with travel and with getting things done. Don't crowd your week. Do your best to give yourself some space this week, so you don't feel so much stress or pressure to be perfect or to get things done. So you still want to keep yourself having some, especially on Monday, Tuesday, a lot of leeway for travel and a lot of leeway for mistakes on your part or somebody else's. So just don't overcrowd the day. Okay. Later in the week, it feels like things are just going to start to take off and start to move in the right direction. If you're traveling, feels like it could be smooth. It feels positive. For those of you that are kind of left behind, if you've got somebody who's traveling and you're behind, it feels like it's a really resourceful time for you as well. It feels like just because your partner may be gone, you still have a lot of opportunity. We also have some momentum moving forward in terms of still with the creative energy, and still things swirling. So there's still a lot up in the air. There's still a lot of things happening. Some of you who've been sort of in shock, people moving, people passing. There's healing available for you. There is a stillness available for you to get what you need. So make sure that you ask for it. All right, let me just see if there's anything else remaining for us that we need to know. The last thing that's really coming up is really about just honoring where you are, taking account of where you are, noticing what's being shown to you. Is there a theme that has shown up in your life? 2 or 3 people consistently calling you on your shit, or 2 or 3 people praising you for something, right? Those are clues. It's the way the universe works for us. 2 or 3 people saying, read this, or 2 or 3 people saying, do you know that you have this bad habit and how annoying it is, right? So you want to notice that your environment is always talking to you. And the best way that we can actually increase our intuition is by working on ourselves. So this is a really wonderful time for you to heal, for you to take care of yourself, for you to notice, what am I, where can I improve? What part of my life can I improve? Where am I not, meeting my own expectations, or not taking care of the things I should be taking care of? You want to look at that. Now, some people will be starting new opportunities at work or school, education. For some of you, we've got this new energy coming in that could lead you on a new spiritual quest. You could start to all of a sudden become curious about spirituality or a healing modality. Some of you could pick up education. You want to learn art, or you want to learn a craft or a skill or a new language. So just, notice what is stimulating you, and notice what the universe is sending to you. So now that things are moving forward a little bit, there's still clear energies with Mercury being direct towards the end of the week, that suddenly the confusion is starting to lift up. You're starting to see some new information. New information's coming in, what I should be doing or what is possible for me. So just want you to pay attention, especially towards the end of the week, and just notice what's being shown to you. And then take action with it, right? Feel your way through it. Get information on it. Call, if it's about a school, call and get the information. If it's about a healing modality, call the therapist, check them out. If it's about a book, go buy it, right? There's all this momentum to take care of ourselves. We're about to move, in a couple of weeks, things will start to really speed up and just like really go fast. So there's a lot of changes, and what you want to do is just make sure that you're prepared for those changes by taking care of yourself. All right, you guys, have an amazing week. Continue to work with this energy of taking care of you, noticing what's being shown to you, following through with it, taking care of yourself, holding yourself in a new way that honors who you are. Don't beat yourself up. And it's just about loving what is, right? All right, you guys, lots of love to you. Have an amazing week. Enjoy yourself. And if you like my weekly wake up, please share it with your friends. Connect if you go under and you write a note, feel free to connect back and forth with one another at the end of the recording here. And I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Have a great week, everybody.